One night, Jenna got called to work the late night shift. She didn't like working the late shift and was not looking forward to the long night. She didn't like the night shift because she was all alone and the store was never busy.
Jenna was sitting behind the counter, waiting for a first customer. Finally, someone walked in, bought a bag of chips, and left. The night continued, and a few more customers came in. She was nearing the end of her shift when someone strange walked in.
A guy walked in, looking a little rough on the edges. His clothes were ripped and his hair was a mess. He had one shoe on and dirt smudges all over his body. His gaze was on nothing but the ceiling. He stood in the doorway for a while and then began walking towards the counter without an item in his hand.
Once he reached the counter, he began to scream and yell, "You're next! You're next! You're next!" He was still only looking at the ceiling and yelling at Jenna. Jenna thought he had some disorder and didn't think anything of his strange screams and remarks. Jenna tried to get him to talk, but it was useless.
The man turned around and walked out of the store in a slow, limp walk. Jenna was on edge the rest of the night and couldn't trust her surroundings, constantly checking her surroundings and being over paranoid of every noise. Her shift was over at 4 a.m. and it couldn't come soon enough.
About an hour after the strange man left the store, she got a call. She answered quickly, only to realize the person on the other end was a strange man yelling, "You're next! You're next! You're next!" Jenna slammed the phone down and looked cautiously around in disbelief. She was glad no one was around to see the fear in her eyes.
4 a.m. hit and her shift was finally over. She grabbed her coat and headed to her car. Before she got in the car, she double-checked the back seat. When she discovered no one was there, she headed home. She arrived at home, and within 1 minute of walking in the door, her phone rings.
Scared to answer, she did anyways. She picked up the phone, only to discover it was the strange man yelling, "You're next! You're next! You're next!" Throughout the night, she could remember hearing strange noises, but only thought it was her imagination getting to her. So she put in a movie and tried to forget about it.
About 2 weeks later, Jenna had forgotten about the incident with the strange man. She went into the basement for the first time in 2 weeks to return some old boxes. She was shocked at the discovery of paper everywhere and a little bed made in the corner of the room. Jenna took a step back and tried to comprehend what she was seeing. She walked to the closet where she was going to put the boxes, to discover something even more horrifying. Words scattered all over the closet walls reading, "You're next, you're next, you're next."
After coming to her senses, Jenna realized the strange man that had walked in the store that terrifying night was living in her home. She turned to run back up the stairs when she was stopped in her tracks by the strange man, whispering, "You're next, you're next, you're next," holding nothing but a large knife.